Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. And it's time for a quite frustrating weekly painting progress. So the weather here in Southern California, I don't know what gods of chaos I've angered and annoyed with my constant venting about the weather not agreeing with me every time I go out to spray, but literally every single weekend for I don't know how many weeks now, it is just decided to start pouring every time I want to start working. And so, unfortunately, this week for now, you're going to have to be graced with a bunch of glossy models, and you're going to like it. Damn it. And I'm going to have to deal with it too. We'll go back and get everything matted down and flattened out, but in the meantime, at least, while we wait for the flood to eventually die out, and I mean, my yard is quite literally flooded at this point. It's kind of like on a little bit of an incline, and so I get like a very swamp like area on one side of my yard. So I can't wait for this to be done. And to make matters even more fantastic, my kids have gotten ridiculously sick, and they were both doing well, and now they're not. And that has kind of taken way more of my time than painting has. And I have been trying to finish up a video on a model which will not be named, but it has pissed me off to no end because literally every time I pick the damn thing up, something new breaks off. And I'm like, I'm going to just smash it to pieces on the floor in a sec. And I'm really annoyed at it. And I'll let you take a guess as to what model that may be. But God, that thing is pissing me off. Anyway, besides that, I did manage to do a couple of crummy paint jobs. And I mean, I don't know. I feel very self-conscious about just the quality of the prints I'm putting out, the quality of the paint jobs I'm doing. And I mean, I know, I'm my own worst critic, but I am just like throwing it out there for the world to see. And every now and then we'll get some really choice, thumbs up comments from people, which just kind of, kill the mojo for me. But you know what? I shall persevere, just like all of you out there hopefully are. I feel like I could do more, but when my time is so stretched thin, I just don't get to. Not that this guy needed a whole lot. This is one of the slimes that Dragon Trapper's Lodge did recently, and I'm almost half tempted to just mat him down and then get some, I believe I have some brush on gloss, and go back over and make him all slimy. I think for a model like this, it totally is fitting. And I want to go back. It looks like an air bubble or something with the paint got stuck in there, and it makes it look like he's actually got eyes. He shouldn't. But this is from their Slimes and Oozes set that I believe I showed off somewhat recently. And I've got a bunch of their new shark stuff, all their fishy stuff. And I've been yet to get it filmed. And no, the Dragon Trapper's Lodge stuff is not the stuff that's giving me a hard time. Their stuff actually this month was really smooth. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, do check it out, because as I always do, have those links down below so you can take a look at it. But there are a bunch of fun little guys like this, and I think I put a video on this already. In fact, I know I did. So if you want to see it, check that out. Let's see what else. This is a horrible job at one of the new Empire of Dust Mantic guys. I didn't know what to do with him. Like, I feel like I should have done something else, and maybe I should probably go look at the painted samples from Mantic themselves. Maybe I'll do a little bit of touch-up. Like, I feel like there should be more on the armor or something. So I'll probably go back and goof around with him a little bit more before I put the matte sealer on him. And still, those shafts of these spears are just nuts. So I got those done. This guy I'm quite unhappy with. I feel like I could have done a much better job. And I now see that he has a mustache, and I didn't paint his eyes. My God. And I just splotched paint all over his armor. It's very blah. Anyway, this poor excuse for a painted model comes to us from Koshu Neko, whose stuff I really enjoy. And they're one of the few that really keep pumping out samurai-style models. In fact, last month and this month, they've got a really nice looking set of like Ronin and sumo guys, and I mean, just some really nice looking models. And I did not do this model justice. I'm going to have to go back and touch him up. So maybe we'll see him return. Especially that face. I just didn't know what to do with his armor. Like, he's got purple strings around, all wrapped up around his spear. Why? I don't know. We'll probably do a little bit of touch-up on him like with a Mantic guy prior to hitting them with the mat. And here is another samurai from a completely different company. This is from Saga Miniatures. They had a Oni-style Kickstarter crowdfunder a while back, and you can actually get all their models through the link, as always, down below. Some kind of higher up dude. So, and they're relatively in scale with each other too. My problem with Samurai and Ronin guys in particular is I'm always stuck trying to figure out what I want to do with them paint-wise. I can never make up my mind. I am so indecisive when it comes to Samurai stuff. Or just painting in general. Or just most things that are hobby related, it seems. I'm sure my wife would be like, you say the same thing about music shopping too. Which I do. Yeah, I mean, actually the Saga guy seems a little bit taller than the Kyoshineko stuff, which is where this guy comes from. And I mean, they're all pretty tall as it is. If you're not familiar with them. I thought they were taller. Huh. Alright, well I stand corrected. Anyway, should have some more of them soon. I know I have a few on the table currently. You're old, get out of here. Alright. Here's another model I just didn't know what to do with, and that gloss is not doing them any favors whatsoever. I know this is an Artisan Guild model, and I want to say it was from like their Spellcasters, Elementalists, or something like that. So yeah, this is another one. This is just an interesting pose, I thought. And they had a bunch of like spell effect hands. So you didn't actually have to use the sword or the blades, in fact, and you could just do, like, you know, crazy lightning magic spells shooting out of their hands. I just thought was a cool touch, but I wanted to go with the sword. And I want to say also that this figure in particular had a uncloaked version of the body, because Artisan Guild always has the heads attached to the bodies. So they have it like that as well. I think it'll look better once I can get it matted down. I think it's a she. I don't even know if it's a male or a female. I'm not 100% sure. Alright, we've been on a bit of a rat mouse kick. And I gotta say, I really like this guy. This is one page rules. I want to say this is the captain. I've got some of the rat ogres, and I want to say it's a similar looking model with a spear on his back. But he looks so noble and valiant and gallant. Ends up looking like a little Menoth symbol in red there. Maybe they're Menothites or whatever they're called. I don't remember. I should get that privateer book out that I just literally had on the channel the other day. They scale up pretty well with some of the other rats I've got laying around. A lot of my rats are green these days. I don't know why they're all wearing green. Is that an official color? I know Eshin was always in black, maybe some red. I don't even know what the colors are. But the OPR stuff, if you haven't had a chance to check, I mean, they just keep pumping it out. And then that's one of the things I love about OPR stuff, even though I haven't had a chance to focus on a lot of their stuff lately on these videos. That's one I think I've been backing since day one. Oh man, there's so much stuff I need to film, and I don't have the time. And dare I say it, sometimes the motivation even to film them, but they have a lot of cool stuff lately going on with the rats. I know I've got a few of the engineers and the marksmen waiting to get finished. And the last one for the week. Good old Okita Soji, the altar version. Now, I feel like I did an awful job printing her, and this lady has been, I know Okita Soji, technically, not a lady, but, you know, it's fate. So, this is from Erkman's Minis, and if you remember a while back, he did the Minamoto no Raiko. And, I mean, I've been a Fate player for a few years now, off and on. But she was like my first 5-star servant in the game. And she has been like my mainstay that I have never taken out of the party unless it's just like against opponents that are not going to go well. I love the pose. Now they did have a version where she had the flames trailing like in her, what is it, the Noble Phantasm or whatever they're called. With her Nantoka Majin Beam or whatever. I usually have the sound off on my phone, so I don't remember what she says, but I know she has one quote where she's like, forgot what she's supposed to say even. But yeah, it's a really cool dynamic sculpt, and I know it's somewhat based on an actual model, or not model kit, but a statue out there. And I did an awful job. There were a lot of supports near the face, and I just feel like I butchered it. And you can see I did not do the best job of removal of those supports either. And that's the thing, is like I'm so particular about getting into all those little nooks and crannies to get everything painted, but then I leave all these bumps and bruises, which is a real shame. Yeah. Now, admittedly, if we zoom everything nice and far out, and once we get her matted down, I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue. Most people aren't going to be as nitpicky about that kind of stuff as I am. I think we need a full party at this point. I mean, Ergman, we got to get a berserker or something now. We got a lancer, we got an alter ego technically. I think we need a berserker, but then the question is who. I don't know. Yeah. We can start talking Fate and other phone app games one of these days. Actually, I will get that. I keep talking about this. Discord, I will put up hopefully within the next 2 weeks, because we are going to be on spring break at the end of this week. So I will have some free time if I'm not taking care of sick kids or if they don't get me sick. So I will put that up and get that posted. So I think I will throw that up for Patreon users. So if you guys want to do that, we'll get that up there soon when I finally have a free moment, which would be nice. And hopefully all of you guys out there are staying safe, staying healthy, and staying busy getting your stuff painted. And if you're in the Southern California area like me, as you wait for the rain to stop, hopefully in the near future, you're keeping those paintbrushes wet with paint so that we can get to playing again very soon. I don't think I'm going to be putting any of this stuff up on Instagram or anywhere else on social media just yet. Not until I can at least do a little bit of touch-up. But as always, if you do want to check any of this stuff out, I always have that hashtag weekly painting progress. And I see that a couple of other industrious painters out there are doing the same, which is always cool to see. So hopefully, like I said, we'll continue to do that. And hopefully I will see some stuff from Mr. Percival Sparkle Trout in the near future, because I know we both went hog wild buying a bunch of the new Vallejo game paints that one of our local shops got in. And I was goofing around with them, but I don't know. I think actually the red on Soji's sword was one of those. And I kind of like it. Anyway, I'll let you all go. As always, the link's down below. You guys want to take a look at any of that. Stay safe, stay dry, and stay busy. And with that said, then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.